Welcome to the Broski Doodles podcast, the best podcast in all the land, the one that is heard all around the world, not only in the US, in Europe. There's people in Belgium that listen to this. If you're one of them, leave a comment. Say, oh, yo, it's me. We got the crew with you today, of course. DJ BJ. You already know, if you need to go to a rave where you might not come back from, please get in touch with our booking team. And of course, Fear, Adrian. He's known as Fear in the street, so we like to keep it respectful in that way. Put some respect on the name. And of course, your boy Kiko Cervantes in the casa in the building today. We got the Thursday movie review with the crew, and we got a motherfucking classic. We got a classic. Ciudad de Dios. Is that how you would pronounce it? We do have our linguistic resident here.
La Ciudad de Dios. Benvenido ao Broski Doodle podcast.
Muito obrigado. So
muito obrigado.
The City of God, Ciudad de Dios, is a Brazilian film that was released in 2003, and it tells the tale of some guys from the favelas, from the hood, that got into criminal activity, and it shows you the dynamic of how that world runs, including the people that want to succeed and get out of that life, and everything in between. Like I said, it was released in 2003. I think it was a very good independent film in the sense that it felt very well produced, very well scripted, and it is actually a real story. And you can watch it on Amazon Prime. That's where I watched it. And yeah, so let's start with it. First of all, I love the fact that it's in another language and you have to watch it in that language. And that's what I would have preferred too. Because especially when you're listening to this type of lingo from the streets and shit, you need to hear the intonation of how they say, you need to hear the feeling that they have. And in this movie, I mean, I think you're sort of obligated because they don't have the audio in English, but even if you did, it would fuck up the movie. So I think that added a lot to it. You guys felt that made it more real?
Yeah, it was an authentic feel to it. Felt like you were there in the action.
It did feel very, very genuine, almost like if you were now part of the gang,
Is that why you're rocking that look? You sort of.
I'm part of the favelas now. I don't belong to the streets anymore.
City de Dios.
Ciudad de Dios.
So it's a favela within Rio, right?
And it's a real favela.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a real story. It's a real story.
True story events of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, at the height of the brutal war between two gangs led by Manuel Machado Rocha, Main Chicken, and José Eduardo Barreto Concecao. Zé Pequeño.
Oh, that's Zé Pequeño?
He became Zé Pequeño when he talked to the
like the shaman.
The shaman, he's like a Santero.
Yeah, Santero. Yeah, Santeria. Like that song, I don't practice Santeria, but a lot scarier. It's not that happy.
He really liked this song and then he wanted to go.
Talk about irony when it's the city of God and they believe in Santeria.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you see the different characters that even in these conditions, right, where people are very poor and there's a lot of crime, you have the different tonalities of personalities where you can have a criminal that's evil and a piece of shit like Zé Pequeño that has no regard for human life. Oh. And then you have other ones that are criminals that will kill you, but they have some line of morality. And then you have everything in between. And I think it was such a realistic depiction of that, because some people might assume that it's like people that do these things are all like pieces of shit. But even within there's different grades. There's a spectrum of personalities where some of them are like, look, man, I do this. I was raised in this, but I don't fuck with innocent people. I just rob the rich. I don't know. I don't kill. We sell drugs, but we don't kill people. I don't know, or only kill it when they, when you need to.
Yeah, they have all these lines.
The whole time in my head of this movie, I was thinking about that song "No Church in the Wild." Like, what's a god to a non-believer, bro? These people were like horrible. Like, I don't even know what to say. But it's not hard. It's not that they're born horrible; they're brought up in this horrible environment, and they have to either adapt and survive, or live in fear and die.
Yeah, like if you look at it, Rocket, which in Spanish or in Brazilian it was called Buscape, which is the main character, the photographer. He was like super lucky that he was able to get out almost like intact, because in reality, that's not how it happens. And you see it on this guy that I don't know how they called him when you saw it in English, but the guy that was a bus driver that was trying to live a good life and then ended up like by obligation having to become a thug, right? Because the other gang rapes his girl in front of him, right? And then they go to his house and kill his little brother. So he's like I have no choice.
And his uncle.
Yeah, who's sitting on the couch. That's terrible, dude. Because that guy was just going about things the right way, trying to make a living, and then all that shit happens. And I guess that's how it is in real life too. Sometimes you just get thrown into a situation where you really have no choice.
Exactly.
Is that real life though? Like, or is that their real life though?
Well, that real life in that environment.
I'm never really scared of I hear in Miami of like a gang showing up to my house and killing my entire family.
Well, you do live in if we United States wise, it's one of the most dangerous counties. But yeah, maybe not. You don't have to have rifles and shit ready. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this hood's like that's what's terrifying. It's like imagine you want to succeed in life and like live a productive, good Samaritan, Christian life, and you have to like by obligation, right? It's like, look, they kill I have to go out there and do something, right? So it's insane that you live in a place where even if you don't want to mess with anybody, the situations are just brought to you,
Yeah, the little photographer got lucky the whole movie because he was right there. He could have gotten shot in any altercation. Something could have happened. He could have looked at them wrong. He could have talked to the wrong girl and gotten shot for it. But he walked the line really good the whole movie.
And it's a hard line to walk in real life because it's very hard to not appear weak, but not be part of it and like sort of like slither your way out of it.
But then you see, but like there's also an entire town of people there. Like they're not. I don't want to say that every person that was in that town was involved with this, but most of them would be like, "Oh no, we didn't see anything," or they don't say anything about it. They just let it happen. And
yeah, but I don't think it's that they let it happen. It's sort of like what happens also in very low income areas of the United States, where like people are scared of the criminals that run the place, so they don't talk. So it's the same here.
Yeah, they know that if they do say something, they're gonna die.
Right.
I guess they've made an example of them before.
Yeah, like ideally, yeah, you would want to have first not corrupt cops that actually give a fuck about keeping the place safe, right? Which they don't have, right? You have like, I think the cops are scarier, right, than the criminals.
Definitely. I was more impacted by the fact that the cops were basically all dirty from the get. And this is the 60s. You're like, oh shit, like what, like this has been going on for God knows how long,
Well, corruption and prostitution are probably the oldest, activities in human.
The oldest illicit activities?
Or just activities.
Oh.
Like I mean, they say that prostitution is the earliest profession, right?
Mm.
And I think corruption comes with it, you know. Like we recently reviewed Gladiator, amazing movie, and you know you had corruption there, you know. So
Well, first you got to define corruption at its core.
it's not very clear to me. However, in my next 48 rules,
We'll define it a little better.
imagine
Can't
Jordan,
promise I'll completely define it.
Jordan Peterson starts becoming like a Scientology, where like every level you get is like, oh no, you need to get to OT12 so that you can actually see the light, and it's like, well, guys, I thought it was over, but it seems like there's 48 more rules. And if you don't know this ones, the other ones won't even make sense. I'm telling you, it's brutal.
You need to buy all 30 books.
You wouldn't believe how much Michaela spends money. She likes high couture. Okay, so Ciudad de Dios. Let's talk about some crazy scenes. The scene where Cepequeño becomes a criminal and he kills everybody in the fucking hotel.
Yo, I've been dying to talk about that scene, bro.
That shit is insane.
You think it exaggerates like how he was like smiling, killing everybody?
Guy, oh my God.
And and the thing is also, I thought about this after. You know how like Cepequeño is left behind, and the three main robbers, the older guys, go hide out in the forest or whatever, and they don't know what happened because they just left, right? So I guess they knew they would have searched for them, but do you think it was a little bit like they were hiding and they didn't even know why they were being searched for, really? Like they didn't know the police was looking for them because they killed everyone in the fucking building.
They probably just thought that they were being chased after for robbing the place.
Now,
and they all had a rap sheet.
Right, but they didn't know they were being searched for killing everyone. They thought it was like, oh, we just robbed the place. You know what I mean? They didn't kill no one.
Yeah. Well, they also didn't know if the other two killed anyone either, because they were all doing their own thing. So like, and Shaggy didn't know that.
No, but they had all gotten to the agreement that they weren't going to kill.
Yeah, but
well, in any case, they wouldn't have thought that, okay, we're being searched for because everybody died. You know? But there's a little hole there, right? It's a little hole. He had a revolver, if I'm not mistaken. That's what, 6 bullets? He didn't have a bag of bullets. So he must have, I mean, am I right on this? He must, like, if he was going to kill a couple in one room, he would have to put them perpendicular so that one bullet could go through 2 of them. So that he could use the 6 bullets efficiently. You don't think so?
So, like, line them up and shoot them?
Right. Like he probably went to the kitchen. He's like, okay, 3 of you be in line, and then boom.
I think he basically emptied the clip in the kitchen. Like, I think there was probably 6 people in the 6 shots in the kitchen.
Right. So
he's the best aim in town.
I mean,
he's the best gun in town.
He's Cepequeño.
So he got his name.
Or he knew that they were going to give him a gun, so he brought ammo.
He pulled up like the Matrix.
Or he got a Hollywood gun that has like endless ammunition.
Well, in any case, that was so sick in a bad sense, not in a cool. Not like, damn, did you see that Tony Hawk landing on the 900? That was sick.
Dude, that was sick, bro.
Dude, that was fucking sick. No, I'm talking about like, that's mental, bro. It's mental.
Little
Cepequeño.
Well, I guess if you're gonna live in that reality, you better be the baddest motherfucker around.
But like, not only did he shoot those people, he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, he was laughing.
The thing is, you might think that Cepequeño is the better profile to run the streets in the hood. However, I think Cepequeño's partner was the one that had the correct vision, which is, I'm still a criminal. I still kill a motherfucker, but I also want to get along with the surroundings so that I'm not always in the fear of getting killed.
I don't know if you ever would have gotten to that point without Se Pequeño, though, because Se Pequeño was the enforcer that you cross him, that I guess you needed that balance.
The true, I feel like the true downfall of Zé Pequeño was when his friend Benny got shot. Like when he was Zé Pequeño's voice of reason. Without him, he devolved into literally just listening to his midbrain and doing anything that came to his mind. Like he wanted to fuck, he'd fuck. He wanted to kill, he'd kill. He wanted to eat, he wanted to sleep, he wanted to do whatever the fuck he wanted. He wouldn't have that conscious, like this could have a repercussion of hurting people and all that bullshit, or this could have.
But not even like, oh, this could hurt people and shit. Like that could lead to your downfall, because if you're in a war with everyone, like the whole reason why Benny was good, and I guess what you say, Adrian, is true as well. Like maybe the combination of both made it better, because I guess maybe Benny alone. But what Benny did is that he knew how to get along with everyone else in town, so that there was no wars, there was no like issues. And I also think that's important, Like what I'm trying to say here, Broski Doodles, if you want to be like a real kingpin, you also have to have the social and the people skills. It's important to be able to communicate with the masses in a way that really conveys your feelings. It makes them feel comfortable. Yeah, don't be Se Pequeño. Se Pequeño, he's not getting with the program. It's not just that. And like this translates in the wild world. Like if you look at monkeys, people might think that the ones that make it are the strongest ones that just kill everyone. The thing is, it's not that one. It's actually the ones that can cooperate with others more and be likable and Jordan Peterson said this, you gotta be likable, man. People gotta wanna play with you. So it's like if there's one piece of shit that's big and it's trying to fuck up people, you could have 5 other monkeys that are smaller get together and fuck them up. So at the end of the day, it's not being the baddest one, it's being in a way the smartest one, and being able to like know how to relate with people and like be firm, but also be friendly and be secure in a way that people want to be with you and chill with you.
Yeah, you also gotta, lay down the law every now and then, show them you mean business.
Right. You might have to grab some skulls, break them, let the other monkeys
put on a pike.
Paraded around the jungle.
With a smile on your face, handing out drinks.
No pressure though, guys. No pressure. I'm just saying.
You don't have to like me,
but like do you have the tray of drinks and then your drink is the skull? You're like, oh, this is very tasty. And just, would you like some?
I feel like Adrian would be the Se Pequeño in the streets just by the attitude that I see him. Right? But like every time I say something like, no, because it's important to know how to deal with people's mentality. No, bro, sometimes you gotta kill him, motherfucker. Feel me? And then he's like, and then I say some shit else, and he's like, nah, I get you, but you gotta fuck him up, though.
You gotta fuck him up.
Well, you gotta show a little bit of sun.
I mean, in those situations, you have to, right? You gotta.
Yeah, totally.
I think as nice as they portrayed this guy, he was also a piece of shit that was killing people since he was a child. With Se Pequeño, they were both coming up, shooting people like it was nobody's business.
Well, that is true.
He just had a better knack for getting along.
Right, but like, yeah, it wasn't that he was like a saint.
Right. I know the movie does a good job, and like, oh man, he's a cool guy. Just let him tell his joke.
That is true. You kind of don't realize
you forget about it.
You're sort of like, yeah, man, he should go live in a farm. He's a cool ass guy. This guy's like been responsible for all of the murders in the fucking town.
This was kind of funny in a bad way. That scene where Lil Z, like Benny tells Lil Z, because like Lil Z is hyper focused on becoming a kingpin. So Benny's like, bro, you need a girlfriend. Like you need like a distraction. You can't just be doing this 24/7 from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, because that's all he's done his entire life. And then he gets like he combs up and he gets all dressed up to go to the party, and the mirror is like half broken and shit. Like the whole room's a mess full of drugs and shit. And this thing is like over here, just like getting like like prepping up his hair and like looking good
for the
like,
first time, right? For the first time, because he doesn't really dress like this.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah. And then he gets to the party and he doesn't know how to act because he's never done that. He doesn't know how to behave or how to socialize.
Right. He just knows how to cause fear in people.
He goes to the like, I guess he had seen this girl before and he like kind of liked her. And he goes and he asks her to go dance. And like he's basically screaming at her, like, do you want to dance with me? Like, oh shit. Like, let's go dance. And then she's like, oh, I know I'm here with somebody. I'm here with somebody. And
he pulls out a gun.
No, I think he's never.
I wasn't asking you, bitch.
He's never felt like the pain of somebody saying no to him or like him like a rejection, and I think that has hurt him in his entire more than anything in his entire life.
Yeah, the thing is that along with what Benny told him a few moments before, like, hey, you need a girlfriend and shit. Then he goes and like, and this is very intense in the mental part, mate. Because you could see how the most feared criminal still has to go out for the consequences of sexual rejection. And that is like such a primal thing, right? Where like, it doesn't matter. You could be the baddest, but then you're not chosen as a reproductive partner based on how many people you can kill. It's on how much you can be likable. I mean, yeah, a lot of parts there are a lot of factors. One of them being, can you protect this family? And in that sense, the Pequeño would have done well. But in everything else, you know,
can you protect the family from yourself? Shit.
Right.
Which is weird because he was in a position of power. He was the top dog. I feel like there'd be a bunch of like little hood rats that would wanna,
yeah, that is true.
Be with him.
I think they should have shown a little bit more like, okay, come on, Pequeño must have had some.
For the longest time, I was like, yo, Pequeño and Benny are a little too close.
Oh, true.
Until Benny gets with Angelica, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're just friends and shit.
Which for Rocket, Buscape, that's gotta fucking suck, right? Like when she breaks up with the drug addict Tiago, and you're like, damn, this is my chance. And then the fucking one of the main drug dealers in the hood wants her. You're like, fuck, man.
Yo, hey, fuck the runs, bro. the motherfucker had her at the beach, and the runs show up asking him for a joint and shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, they fucked them up. But in a way, also, I mean, I do kind of blame a little Angelica there on the, oh, okay, so you're cool with being like with a murderer type shit, Like when she crossed that line, I was like, okay, so she's also a little bit of a hood girl herself.
Yeah, free spirit.
Yeah, for lack of better words.
She wants to live on a farm.
Yeah, apparently that was the dream in Brazil. Have a farm and raise chickens.
And raise weed. We're on grow weed.
That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, Lil Z, you want to do this all for what? Like, what's the end game here? I was thinking
big boss. And at one point he was, and he brought like peace. He brought peace to the favelas.
I love how they say it. He brought peace. He stopped doing the killings he was doing.
Wait. Killings and rapings. Don't forget.
Killings and rapings. It's only happening on the other guy's turf, on Carrot's turf. I mean, if you're going to have a fucked up situation like that, would you want it under one flag where rapings and killings are down? I feel like he had a good thing going there.
Yeah. No, I think if you need to vote on it, you're like, okay, let me have one reign, one ruler.
One true power.
But okay, so
there was a vision of Rome.
Rapings and killings are down unless you cross them.
Yeah.
So that became a dictatorship. totalitarian rule.
Yeah,
Is that that or just Mad Max?
Yeah, it's
Or you
just
can't
that
even
or
walk
Mad
outside your
Max.
house.
Exactly.
So it's either have one guy, so like North Korea, like have one person that runs it.
Yeah.
Nobody can talk shit about that one guy.
Or
Ah,
one of these countries in the Congo where there's no rule, and then just everybody just against, just free for all.
Eesh.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's hard. That's rough.
I don't know what I
Zeke was
prefer.
under a lot of pressure, man.
No, I mean, Lil Sig, I think you need to talk to a psychologist, get a little bit,
A little help.
vent a little.
Maybe he should have cleaned up his room. Start with that.
He was never looking in within. He wasn't taking care of the demons. Because he was an ugly fuck. His heart being ugly. Let me tell you.
It also brings to light something that me and Kiko were discussing. Can you really be successful, or can you really be a good leader without an exorbitant amount of stress? Like the more stress you get in your little situation, the more stress you can handle, the more likely you are to succeed or to become a top dog. Because like diamonds are made from pressure and heat. You need
that push. Without that push, you're not going to propel forward. But then again, too much pressure, and then it destroys you. You just got to know how to flow with it. In this case, the pressure would be what?
Like
potentially dying every day.
Them keys, boy.
Them keys, the potentially dying every day. Not being able to feed your family because you don't have money, because you have to do something about it.
In Sep Pequeño's case, not being liked by anyone. Never being able to have consensual sex.
That is pretty rough.
I mean, I really do it for the consent, That's what I do it for.
Damn.
That's the part I love the most.
He even said it. It's like, yeah, I could buy it or I could force somebody, but it's not the same when you don't get consent.
That's gotta be a sick line from a demented motherfucker. It's like,
fucking A.
Man, have I done it? I could do it, but it's nothing like the consensual. You're like, and this is the guy next to you in jail. You're like, oh, fuck.
So what are you doing later tonight?
But anyways, what do you do out there, little man?
Oh man.
Okay, so tell me about. You guys like this movie?
It was
all right.
It was stressful.
Yeah, stressful and sad, dude. Just a sad reality that you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
man? People have to live through this shit.
Damn.
And this is just like a preview. Like this is like not everybody has the Little Z's fortune or Rocket's fortune, and some people are brought up into that, and are raised in that and die in that, and then the cycle continues. The cycle starts over again.
So you guys don't like it too much because it tells a reality? Fucking Americans.
Yeah, I like my bubble.
like I'll be honest with you, it was super ugly. Like everything was dirty on every street. I was like, what the fuck?
that was hilarious.
Everyone's just walking around on slippers. What the fuck?
I think hilarious isn't the word. But that whole scene where Benny, like he's like he's a little bit more eccentric. So he goes and asks Tiago to buy him like clothes from like over there, like from some sort of like store, like a high end.
Yeah, like where the rich kids go.
And then when he comes into the room with the shirt and
his hair,
and everybody's like in like scraps and like all dirty and like the whole room is like brown basically. Like it's just like. And this guy, this little ray of sunshine, everybody's like looking at him,
and they all laugh at him.
And they all laugh at it. No, they don't. They're all like, "Oh, Z makes fun of him," and then they start laughing at him.
Okay,
And
true.
then- and-
Important to know.
And then their way to calm the crowd is to shoot a gun.
and then the motherfucker just shoots up into the roof, and everybody just leaves. They're like, you want to laugh now? Go ahead, keep laughing.
Yeah. He reminded them. Rawr.
Like, yeah, like you can't really make fun of the like your boss type shit, you know.
Well, I love the film. I had seen it before, and I saw it again for this review, and I love this film. I think the film is so real. It's a real story, and it's so real. There's a documentary on Netflix that we found, right? That is called Ciudad de Dios 10 years later or some shit.
10 years later, yeah.
It might be like an interview with maybe some of the people and the characters in the movie. I'm gonna watch it just to see what's good with it. But I love the film. I think it was very well made. It almost seems like it's an independent film, but I felt it be related in such a good way. The actors, I mean, bro, you literally felt you were like these people were from the favelas, like for sure. You know what I mean? Like they looked their part, and they acted their part perfectly.
Except for Tiago.
You didn't like him?
Tiago's like some of his words in the beginning felt forced or like felt like they're like he was reading them.
Who's
Everybody
Tiago?
else, the first little white kid that is
the little ginger that was snorting coke.
yeah, exactly. That he's Angelica's first boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
His character felt a little forced in the beginning. It's smoothened out as the movie progressed, but it felt a little like he doesn't belong here type shit.
No, but I think it was believable because that happens where you have like a kid that comes from a good family, but for some reason he just and it could be like for good reasons, like, oh, I like these people, they're simpler, they're more humble type shit.
Right.
In his case, maybe it was more regarding that he needed to have drugs daily.
For the cocaine.
Yeah, shit got bad, dude. He was like selling his dad's watch and just getting rid of everything. It can turn into a wreck really quick.
Yeah, it was horrible seeing like you're like, oh shit. So yeah, that's believable. Like that happens.
Yeah, and even his downfall was pretty rough at the end.
Yeah, he said he had a line where he's like, "Oh, so you get us hooked and then you stop selling it to us? What the fuck?" And it's like, damn, dude, God, what the-
Yeah, because they didn't want to change him. The guy's like, nah, man, right now we don't. Come on, you got us hooked. He's like, damn. He's like actually starting
He's
a
aware of
committee.
it.
He's like starting a committee. So all those addicts, you need to have this shit on lock every day.
So, and one thing I wanted to mention or comment was in the beginning, where in the beginning, when the Tender Trio they first rob a gas truck, and immediately everybody comes to the gas truck to take the gas. Like, so they're not free of sin like the entire town se.
Yeah, it's more like City of Hell. Yeah, it is
true.
true.
A week again, and they're like, "Oh shit, truck's here."
This is the thing this is a fucked up part, right? That I noticed. Like, they do that to that truck, right? I'm pretty sure no other trucks are coming in that neighborhood again to sell gas. So now the whole community is fucked. You know what I mean? Like these are robberies that you can do once, and that's it. Like they're gonna not do that route anymore. Fuck them type shit. And it is true, people were stealing it, and it does get you thinking like, okay, how much of a factor is the it's like the people around not saying shit, even benefiting sometimes from it. I mean, and I would assume there's a lot of other people that are just like, fuck, I don't support any of this bad shit. I wish I could get out of here.
But and I don't know if you also noticed in the beginning as well, where they talk about how that town got developed. That town got developed because most of those people originally had a home closer into town. Their home got flooded and washed away or something, and they were living homeless in more richer parts of town. And the rich people got together and told them, look, let's send these people to fucking Buffalo, Egypt.
Oh, name is Ciudad de Dios.
And when I went to Ciudad de Dios, because like much like you, Adrian, and me, we wanted to live in our bubble. We don't want to have to see this. So send them as far away as we possibly can, and let them fucking die over there in La Ciudad de Dios.
Right.
So,
yeah, I know. It's I mean, it touches a lot of social issues, right? Having to do with discrimination of social status, having to do with how do you solve the social problems? How do you effectively apply social programs that really do help the people that need it, that don't get abused, that work efficiently? It's like a whole thing. It's so much. It's a chain reaction of things. Education not being there, the law of the state not being there. It's so important for the law to punish the people that do wrong so that everyone behaves. And when that doesn't happen, only the ruthless ones that don't have any regard for life are able to reign in those environments. The ones that don't really want to kill people and shit, they're like sort of stuck in like, okay, you're fucked then.
Yeah.
Or you're forced into becoming a monster so that you can survive in the thing. So it's fucked up. For some reason, I didn't, even though you could say sad and all this, I didn't see it like that. Like I saw the whole movie very entertaining, very fun, because it showed you in a very genuine way how things were. But obviously, you also get impacted by the emotional connection you can have with characters, the way they develop. I think the whole character development was good as well. It lets you know in the timeline how everything worked. So for the rating, I'm gonna straight off say I give this movie an 8.
Okay. I hated the movie.
You hate it,
but in the sense of like, not that I hated the movie as a movie, I hated what happened in the movie. Like I hated all this because once again, it reminded me of all the social impact that we have, and that we're rather than addressing the real problem, which is the division of status, how many people are poor, how many people are rich. And I mean, I don't want to say that it's the rich person's fault for this happening, because it's not. But if a person's in a bad situation and you're in a position where you can help them, I mean, I personally would. But once again, this is going into a whole different topic that I don't want to get into.
John is the resident communist in the platform.
Fucking A. I'm a humanist. I feel bad for people sometimes.
No, I get you. I mean, I think we touched on the same exact point, which is it's hard finding what is a solution to be able to help people efficiently and just be a good human being to others, but also putting the incentives there for people to want to progress and do better. So it's a hard solution that I'm not sure really how you achieve.
Yeah, it was an excellent movie, actually. I hated the movie, but it was an excellent movie because of how real it felt, being there. Little Z. I was more scared of little Z, or a little Dice in actuality, than I was scared of little Z almost.
Yeah, that is true.
Before he became Santero, and the guy's like, "Hey, you can't fuck with that on." He's like, "Hey, bet I'm never gonna fuck with
it." hey, bet nobody wants to fuck with me.
He broke 2 rules with that thing on. He fucked and he raped, because he raped the girl.
They did show that the chain as he was.
Yeah, that was symbolic.
Well, maybe that's when maybe that was like a hidden thing there to make you know that. All right, so give the rating, John.
Bro, 8.
Okay.
It's a strong solid 8. It was good. I'd watch it again. Definitely. But it's not for everybody. Not for the weak of heart.
Yeah, man. I saw this movie like maybe 12 years ago when I was in high school. Danny, if you're listening out there, I think you were the one to tell me to watch, because you're like, bro, this movie's amazing. I did give it a watch, and then I remember why I didn't like it, and it's the same reason that John mentioned. It's just a movie that shows you the tough reality of some hoods and some parts of the world that I'd rather not know about, but I'm glad that I see it to learn something and take myself out of the bubble and the comfort that I live in. And for a moment, imagine myself living in that harsh environment and seeing what the reality of somebody else is. As a movie itself, I think it was really well done. Looking online, apparently they kept it real, like the whole way throughout. They told the movie very well. It kept flowing. I do have to see the last 30 minutes of the movie. You guys brought me up to speed on and rewatched that scene, because apparently in those last 30 minutes is where everything happened. So as a movie in itself, I do give it an 8 as well. It's a movie that I'll watch in another like couple of years. Kind of like Passion of the Christ, where it's a great movie, but bro, it's just tough.
It's a tough watch. Mm-hmm. Or even like a Schindler's List.
Right.
Which I haven't seen
right.
yet.
It's a tough watch.
What?
Or Shawshank. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen Shawshank.
Shawshank.
All right, so we got a solid 8. I think that's fucking great.
Yeah, no math today. They don't do math in the favelas, so no math today.
Okay, we'll clip that.
Bro, and one thing, I wanted to start learning Portuguese and go to Brazil, but after watching this movie, I'm like,
yeah, they'll grab you like Thiago and fuck you in the beach.
Don't look so appealing.
And then like talk about like what is it like preluding to the entirety of the movie was that whole scene in the beginning with the chicken, like how they're cutting that chicken open and the other chicken's like just watching like, yo, what the fuck?
It was great how they used, it was a little Tarantino. Mm-hmm. Tarantino, Scorsese,
like foreshadowing, like how this, like we're just like lambs to the slaughter type scenario, you know?
Yeah, and I loved it how you know what's fun, that they went real back, like to the beginning of the town, and they did it in a way where you were always connected and invested in like following the trail. Mm-hmm. Let us know what you guys think on the comments if you have seen this movie. If you haven't, watch it. This is a great movie, and do leave comments on what you think about it, what you liked, what you didn't like. And once again, thank you for fucking tuning in. We got that movie review with the crew, and this one is a great one. Solid 8. Peace.